Cowabunga dudes, this is Michelangelo and we're here to talk about me in this video. Let's go get some pizza and let's get into this. And yes, today's episode is all about Michelangelo of the Ninja Turtles. Join me as we go through the history of Michelangelo from different media sources and also through the vintage toys that I have of Michelangelo. So grab your pizza and let's get into this. Cowabunga! So let's start off with some fun facts about Michelangelo. Michelangelo is one of 4 Ninja Turtles. The other Ninja Turtles is Donatello, Raphael, and Leonardo. Michelangelo is also nicknamed Mike or Mikey as short, depending on the version that you watch of the Ninja Turtles. Michelangelo, or Mikey, is known to pick up things much faster than his brothers when he's learning new things. And he's also known to always riding a skateboard, eating pizza, joking, and also having lots of fun.
Yes, friends, the new Turbo Ginsu! Woohoo! It dices, it slices, and yet makes French fries in 3 different... Whoops!
His signature weapon is known as the nunchucks.
What's up, bruh? Oh, you think you can handle this, huh? I'ma snap him, turtle fool. I meant to do that.
In the shows and movies, Michelangelo is known to have a more of a lighter tone character, but in the comics, he's actually starts off more lighter, but he gets a lot more darker and gives him more of that volume to his character. Mikey is known to say "Cowabunga, dude."
Michelangelo, how come you're not shouting "Cowabunga"?
Well, to be honest, I'm getting kind of bored with it. Hey, how about this? Yabba dabba!
Nah, it's just not you.
Mikey or Michelangelo, like the other Ninja Turtles, is actually named after Italian artists. Originally in the Mirage comics, all 4 Ninja Turtles actually had red masks instead of different colors to point out the different characters. But since then, they've used the different colors to characterize each Ninja Turtle. Kevin Eastman and Peter Laird in 1983 created the Ninja Turtles in their very first comic book. And they went from producer to producer until they were able to get the first comic book printed, and which was actually in black and white. It wasn't in color, it was in black and white. While they were trying to get the first comic book out, they had to finance it, and they actually did it from a tax refund and from loans from family members who believed in their goal to produce the Ninja Turtles. And thank goodness they helped them, because now we have the Ninja Turtles, and pizza is never the same. Besides his 3 brothers, his family also consists of Master Splinter, who is a mutated rat, and their good human friend, April O'Neil. Originally, the Ninja Turtles were actually regular turtles, but because they were infected by radioactive chemicals, when they were washed down into the sewers, they mutated to become who they are today.
One day, everything changed. You was the first things I met. It didn't want to kill me or eat me. I couldn't just leave you there. You was covered in this ooze as someone dumb in the source. Whatever this ooze was, it transformed us.
Now, let's get into the history of the Ninja Turtles, specifically Michelangelo. The first comic book that Michelangelo appeared in, or the Ninja Turtles appeared in, was Mirage Comics, and they had the first opportunity to showcase the characters of the Ninja Turtles. And with Michelangelo, he started off as this fun-loving guy. He loved to joke. Later on in the comic book, he does get a lot more serious than in the shows. But let me get into that a bit more as we progress through this video. In Mirage Comics, when they did the one-shot for Michelangelo, yes, he actually had his own comic book, and they fleshed out his character, showing how he was playful and joking, and they had him adopt a cat, and his name was Clunk. And in that episode, when he adopted the cat named Clunk, they showed him also fighting off some bad guys that were trying to steal toys from a nearby orphanage that he was near. Also in that comic book series, Michelangelo finds a love for reading comics, not just any comics, superhero comics. And also from reading the comics, he gained an interest in writing, and he ended up doing a lot of Japanese manga from Japan. So in volume 4, Michelangelo takes a second job as a tour guide. Not just any type of tour guide, a tour guide for aliens who were coming to Earth. And he actually only had one customer, and her name was Princess Siri of the Stratacon race.
On the left side of the vessel, you can now see planet PU1753-L, known locally as ER, one of the few inhabited planets in this backward part of the galaxy.
As their relationship strengthens and gets more serious, she actually produces eggs for Michelangelo, but it was forbidden love in her race because she was a princess and he's a foreigner. So when Mikey was actually caught, he was actually put in prison. Unfortunately, he wasn't able to see his children because of the rules of this alien world. Especially because she was royalty, right? And he actually became friends with this other alien that was in prison. He was a Triceraton, and his name is Azok. The two of them gradually do escape the prison, and they join forces with his race, and there was a big war between the two alien races because of all that happened. Because of what all happened with the war and with him being torn away from his love, it really darkened his heart, and that's where one of the reasons why the comics were more darker, because he went more into a darker tone because of what happened. I mean, when you deal with matters of the heart, can really affect a person, right? The next comic book that took on the Ninja Turtles was Image Comics, and Image Comics wanted to do something completely different than Mirage Comics, so they decided to reboot the whole storyline with a fresh new start. So with this fresh new start, they decided to focus on Michelangelo's writing, because in the previous version, in Mirage, they had him write manga or anime, Japanese anime. In this version, they had him become a writer of poetry and multiple different types of fiction. So not just manga and anime, but like novels, and he did poetry, which was a little bit different than before, but he still has that fun-loving character, but he just has more passion for writing. April O'Neil brings to his attention at one point that his book got really popular, and it actually went on to the Oprah Winfrey show, and it was booming because of everyone who likes romance novels watching Oprah Winfrey, right?
I mean, is there anything romantic or anything?
Whoa,
What?
Be careful of that answer.
April, tell them about us.
No, I mean, I'm sure everyone the more you get to know the turtles, the more attractive they become, but...
Good answer.
Hey, geez, man.
You know you're talking about me.
Oprah, I've been trying to talk her into an interspecies relationships for months now.
Whoa, Raph, chill, man.
And she won't do it,
She
huh?
can't hold her breath.
No, she
I'm
can't
a
do it.
reporter.
The biggest problem is she can't hold her breath long enough, you know?
The next comic book that took a whack at doing the Ninja Turtles was the Archie comics, especially for Michelangelo. The Archie comics initially was tried to become a bit similar to the 1987 cartoon of the Ninja Turtles, which was the original Ninja Turtles from the 80s that most people remember that were around that time. But then they wanted to make him a bit more mature, but not as dark as the previous comics. He did more writing as well. And with writing, he did more poetry like in the previous iteration of it. Later on in the comic, there was a big battle, and Michelangelo was temporarily blinded from the battle, and he was imprisoned by the US government. After he was captured by the American government, and gradually later on, his family was able to break him out from the government, from the military, and he actually was able to save the life of the guy who tortured him basically in the prison. So it shows with his character that because you did this and this to me, I'm a better man and I rescued you, because I'm not going to take what you did to me against you, because it's the right thing to do, right? And a lot of people would have a hard time with that. So I admire that. That tells something about his character, right? One interesting fact with the Archie comics that they didn't show in many other comics was that he can communicate with other animals. So, I mean, kind of like, Aquaman can communicate with fish in the water. He can communicate telepathically to other animals like rats or lizards or what have you. Yeah, it's pretty cool, right? The next and final comic book that I'm going to be talking about Michelangelo is by IDW Comics. And in the IDW Comics, they rebooted it again, and it was a bit different take. Because in this version, they were actually originally humans. All 4 Ninja Turtles were humans, and they were kids. Or I think he was the youngest, and he was like a baby maybe. And they were all killed off by Shredder, and then they reincarnated into Ninja Turtles. I guess they reincarnated into turtles, which then they got affected by the radioactive chemicals, and then they became the Ninja Turtles as we know today. But in the comic book series, that's how it took place. And after they became the Ninja Turtles, in the end, their big enemy was Shredder again, right? In that comic book series, Shredder was their enemy in both lives, as you could say. As humans and as Ninja Turtles in IDW. Michelangelo was pretty close to his brother Donatello, to the fact that where pretty much anything that Donatello said, he would agree with. He was always just there for him, and he would always back him up on anything, any issue they find themselves in. Michelangelo also, in the comics, showed that he could read ancient Japanese, as they came across a ancient Japanese text called Ashi no Himitsu, and this was an ancient Japanese text from the Foot Clan, which Shredder was from, and he was able to decipher it and help the Ninja Turtles on that adventure. At one point in the comics, Michelangelo had enough courage to actually confront Shredder, and they actually had this heated debate, and actually was able to win the debate against Shredder, as he tried to first resolve the issue peacefully without fighting until there was no other option. Then he would, fight, right? Because he's a ninja. In the miniseries Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles: The Last Ronin, Michelangelo is the last surviving member of the Ninja Turtles. So his 3 brothers got killed off. And in this world, it was a dark world of crime and violence. And he worked with April O'Neil and their other friend, Casey Jones, to save the future world. And at the end, April helped restore 3 more Ninja Turtles for the future. So basically recreated the process of them becoming mutant Ninja Turtles again. So the future has protectors. The most famous TV series that the Ninja Turtles ever had was from 1987, and it ran for 10 seasons. And the show was more lighthearted and goofy compared to more of the darker tone of the comic books. Mikey was seen as the party dude. Even though he was the party dude, he didn't really have a lot of input on the different things they were doing, but he was an equal member of the team when they had to fight Shredder or any of their other villains. Because he was the party dude of the team, he was the one that came up with the COWABUNGA dude slogan, and his favorite pastime to eat was pizza. That's why the Ninja Turtles are known for pizza, because he's the one that's always wanting to eat pizza.
At Weird Pizza to Go, there's no ingredient too outrageous. Our chefs will custom build a pizza just for you, no matter how revolting.
All right!
Just one bite and you'll say, this pizza is weird.
In Season 3, in the episode COWABUNGA Shredhead, Michelangelo showed how much he loved pizza. Every time, almost every scene, he would talk about his cravings for pizza. So much to the point where Shredder had enough of the pizza cravings that Michelangelo kept on talking about, to the point where he tried to hypnotize Michelangelo.
Donatello?
Hey, Michelangelo, how about a pizza with the works?
Pizza? No way, dude. I crave pizza no more.
Amazing.
Astonishing.
Not bad. Maybe now it's safe to order out for some pizzas.
Like in the comics, Michelangelo's famous weapon was the nunchucks. But in the UK, because of what happened in the news regarding nunchucks for kids, it was frowned upon. So eventually in season 4, they actually replaced his nunchucks with a grappling hook and called it Turtle Line. And Turtle Line became the signature weapon of Michelangelo for the rest of the show. In 1990, Michelangelo, and along with other Ninja Turtles and other cartoon characters from that time, joined together in a special cartoon series called Cartoon All-Stars, where basically it was a PSA special about saying no to drugs and teaching kids to not do drugs.
This Saturday,
What's up, Doc?
join Alf, Garfield, Kermit, and the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Cowabunga, dude!
Plus all your favorite cartoon characters, as they join forces to help keep kids off drugs.
Why don't you just say no?
Don't miss this once-in-a-lifetime special.
You're excellent just the way you are, without drugs.
The Cartoon All-Stars to the rescue.
The
Saturday.
voice actor for Michelangelo was Townsend Coleman. Now let's talk about the toys. The first toy is Michelangelo from 1988 from Playmates. So if you were going to purchase this Michelangelo from the store, he would have came with a black belt had his signature M for Michelangelo, right, on the front there. He would have came with orange weapons, so his nunchucks would actually fit on the back of the belt. And then he also came with multiple other weapons: turtle fist daggers, ninja stars, and the Kama weapon. The official bio of the toy is basically he's a party reptile. Even though Shredder is coming by to cause harm, Mikey does not lose cool, and he plays along, and then he fights Shredder to the bitter end. But he never loses cool. In the most perilous of battles, Mikey can be swinging his nunchucks in one hand and eating pizza on the other. And one of Mikey's dreams is to use Shredder as a cheese grater for his pizza. So a little bit about the toy that I actually have here. I got him at a thrift store, so he's not in that great a shape. As you can see here, his fist, here, it looks like it's been chewed off. So, yeah. And he's a bit faded, like different areas, like his mask is a bit faded. If you look at the shell here, there's like some sort of color there. He's missing all his accessories. His toe is also chewed off. I'm not sure if you can see that. He could have been in better shape, but I mean, it was from the thrift store, right? So I can take what I can find, right? So I was looking on eBay, and the cheapest I could find him without the box, without accessories, was $4 US. And then when looking for the most expensive one I could find, not being in box, but without the accessories, was around $41.99 US. The second toy, coming from 1988, is also Michelangelo from Playmates, but he's actually a little bit different than the first one I showed you because his head was hard. This guy, his head is rubber, so he's known as the soft head Michelangelo. The bio on the box is pretty much the same as the hard head version of Michelangelo, and also the toy isn't as bright as the original, as you can tell. Not sure if you can see here, but he is a bit more brighter of the original than the soft head one. So when looking on eBay, the cheapest I could find him without the box, without accessories, is $6.99 US. The most expensive one I could find in box, actually in a frame, a plastic frame, well, not frame, but it's like clear plastic. He was $1,699.99. And you're like, what? Why was he so expensive? Well, I'll tell you. The reason why it was so expensive is because he had the AFA 70+ rating. And you're like, AFA? What the heck is AFA? Well, the AFA is the Action Figure Authority, and they rate it on the genuine, and that's it in good shape, and it's still in the box, and the different categories. And it got an AFA 70+, so that increases the volume when it's actually rated by the AFA. So if you're collecting toys, or if you have toys that are like vintage and they're still in the box, it might be good to get it rated, especially if you are trying to sell it. So the next highest price I could find that wasn't AFA rated came at $208.99, and it was complete in the box. He could be in better shape as well. If you look at his fists, right there or there, there's cheap melted plastic on there. So I really don't know what happened there. Whoever had him before probably left them out in the sun. Maybe they put paint or like electrician's tape on his hands. I really don't know. And looks like his mask is a bit faded. Same with his shell. He has more tape on his foot as well, or whatever that is. It's black and melted. But he's not broken. There's nothing missing from him. So that's good, right?
Splinter the Rat taught them each the ninja arts. Donatello, master of the staff. War! Leonardo, the katana blade.
My God!
Raphael, the
Don't
sleeve.
throw this at home, kids!
And Michelangelo, the nunchakus.
Radical!
And master of the willing pizza.
Hey, who had the pepperoni and ice cream? Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
From Playmates.
So the Ninja Turtles had 3 of their own movies, live action movies, not cartoon, live action, in the 1990s during the time that the 87 animated series was on. And Michelangelo was one of the Ninja Turtles that was in it, of course, right? And the 3 movies were called Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2, The Secret of the Ooze, and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 3. In the movies, Michelangelo is featured as a fun-loving, free-spirited turtle who is known for various different sayings, including "COWABUNGA" and "I love being a turtle." And he's also known for his California accent and coming out with outrageous plans. He's kind of more of a joke relief, a comic relief, right? Because he's the joking turtle, right? In the movies.
Huh? Cowabunga! Hey! Wait for me! Whoa! God, I love being a turtle!
So in the first movie, and also The Secret of the Ooze, he was portrayed by Michael Sisti, and he was voiced by the alumni of the Brady Bunch, Robbie Reese.
This place has everything.
Yep, just about.
The next set of live action movies that the Ninja Turtles were in was in 2016's Michael Bay's Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, which I have. I really enjoyed it. It was a fun-loving movie. It's good for people who love Ninja Turtles and then who are occasional movie-going fans. It's a fun movie to watch. I do recommend it, that one, and the sequel, Ninja Turtles Out of the Shadows. I love both of them, and which also features Michelangelo as well. In those movies, Michelangelo is voiced by Noel Fisher. In those movies also, Michelangelo has the same character as in a lot of the different shows and movies prior, being a fun-loving, the jokester, the prankster of the group. But he also has a crush on April O'Neil, who is played by Megan Fox. And different times in the movies, he would create a song or he would blow up another car just to impress April O'Neil. And one of the songs he sings was Happy Together, as it was that song that he created as being a writer, which they focused on, they took from the comics as well.
Michelangelo, who's always my personal favorite.
If it wasn't already obvious with that girl. Dibs.
Check the base, bruh. My bad. Still figuring out the buttons. I can't stand it like nobody but you for all my life. When you're with me, baby.
The Ninja Turtles and Michelangelo has appeared in many other versions of media besides comics and movies, including the following. Coming Out of the Shell Tour, which was basically a live performance, and where Michelangelo did a lot of the singing, which kind of goes back to his writing from the comics, and he was one of the main ones singing. Like, they had all the Ninja Turtles in it, but he was the one. And so in the 90s, they actually toured around different cities in America with this tour, right?
The going gets tough. The winners are the ones who say it's never enough. Now, are you listening to what I say? I am still a mutant turtle in every way.
In 1997, they had a live-action TV series called Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles: The Next Mutation, in which they had one episode where they did a crossover with the Power Rangers, and the episode was called Shell Shocked. In that episode, Michelangelo was played by Jared Blanchard.
Well, if you guys ever come to space, please stop by.
Yeah! And if you're ever in New York, hey, why don't you pop your head in our sewer?
Sure. Yeah, we'd love to.
In 2003, they did a reboot TV series called Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and Michelangelo pretty much had the same character as the original series, and he was voiced by Wayne Grayson. Also, in 2007, they decided to make a new movie that was all computer animated, the first Ninja Turtles movie that was all in computer animation, and it was called TMNT. And in the movie, Michelangelo actually performed singing at different birthday parties for kids. He would call himself the COWABUNGA Carl.
Initiate Plan Omega. I repeat, Plan Omega is a go. Go, 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 go! Who wants a balloon animal?
In 2017, there was another TV show, a Ninja Turtles TV show, called Tales of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, which he was voiced by Greg Sipes. Another TV series reboot was in 2018 called Rise of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, which Mikey is actually younger. He's actually 13 years old, so you get to see him at a younger age, and he's also as goofy as ever. And he was Brendan Michael Smith. In 2019, there was another animated movie that was a crossover between Batman and the Ninja Turtles called Batman vs. the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, in which the Ninja Turtles were from an alternate universe, alternate dimension, and the villain Krang was able to open up a portal and which sucked in the Ninja Turtles and Shredder into the world of Batman, into Gotham City, and there you got to see them interact with Batman and the Bat family, so Batman, Robin, Batgirl, Alfred, and the GCPD, and also their villains, including Penguin, Joker, Catwoman, Two-Face, Mr. Freeze, Harley Quinn, and the list goes on. I did see that movie. I thought it was pretty good. I thought it was a good take on the Ninja Turtle, but I quite enjoyed it. I recommend anyone who likes Batman and Ninja Turtles, they should check it out.
Wild guess here? This might be his car. The Penguin mentioned a bat. Think this is the guy working with Shredder? Could be.
And in 2023 was the last version on screen of the Ninja Turtles in a movie by Nickelodeon called Mutant Mayhem. Similar to some of the other movies, he has the same character. He likes to joke around, have fun, party, eat pizza. That pretty much doesn't change. It's the same. Besides TV and movies, Michelangelo has also appeared in many different video games, including Injustice Gods Among Us 2 for the PS4. He was a DLC character. DLC is downloadable character, where you can play as Michelangelo, the Ninja Turtles, in the game. And Injustice Gods Among Us 2 is about the DC characters. It's a fighting game, right? So, from an alternate universe.
You'll be rage quitting in a heartbeat.
Some of the other games that Michelangelo appeared on was TMNT Smash Up for the PS2 and the Wii, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Out of the Shadows for the Xbox 360 and PC, Turtles in Time for the NES in 1991, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Shredder's Revenge was based off the original series, was released for Windows, Linux, Nintendo Switch, PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and the PS5, iOS, and Android. And lastly, in 2021, Mikey appeared in the game Nickelodeon All-Stars Brawl, where he can go up against SpongeBob SquarePants and other Nickelodeon villains. It's another fighting game, but with all the Nickelodeon characters. So if you like SpongeBob and you like the Ninja Turtles, you'll love that game. Well, that's our wrap, guys. COWABUNGA! And thanks for tuning in and helping me go through memory lane about Michelangelo, through the toys and the history. And just remember, when you're looking for vintage toys, make sure you eat pizza, and that's just prime.